WWE's NXT is being rebranded. Recently we have seen the introduction of a new opening video for the television program with a new theme song, new championship belts, and of course new talent being featured on the program. It makes no surprise to me that NXT is changing. We're post WrestleMania. Since this superstar shake-up, really the annual post WrestleMania call-up from NXT, of course this brand is making changes. First of all, the opening video and new music. It's called Rage. You can find it on the WWE Music official YouTube channel. And looking at the comments on that page, certainly as usual there seems to be a split in people's opinions whether they like the music or not. Raw and SmackDown have both had variations of opening videos and music over the years, and NXT has as well. People forget it's been around for nearly about 7 years or so now. It started off as kind of a talent contest, and I think the first season won by Wade Barrett. So it's been around a long time and had a few variations itself. WWE is always going to occasionally change the music videos, even the music themselves used by their programs, whether it be Superstars, Raw, SmackDown or NXT. It's always going to happen. When it comes to the championship belts, I actually like the look of the new championship belts. I don't know how much thought and design went into the original NXT championships, especially the old NXT championship belt, which has been around for nearly 5 years or so now, I believe. I think that was very quickly thought of. I like the new designs. I think they'll look good. I know that a lot of people have been very vocal about the way that WWE have their championship belts right now. Some people complaining that the championship belts look the same. Whether Raw or SmackDown, they look the same, but they're just different coloured. I understand WWE's thinking on that because there are so many wrestling promotions out there, and every promotion in the world can now have an online presence. Whether you're WWE, SWE, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Discovery, ICW, Progress, whatever company you are, you can have an online presence very easily. Here on YouTube, own your own website, an on-demand service, whatever. And there are so many different championship designs around nowadays. You look at even companies like Ring of Honor. You look at those championship belts. You look at various the various companies. You'll see their own designs for championship belts. But if you're an independent company, of course, and it probably still happens to this day. It certainly used to happen on a regular basis, but many companies would do things such as buy a replica WWE or WCW or ECW belt, brand it with their own logo, and then use that as whatever championship it is, whether it's their heavyweight, a tag title, a secondary title, whatever. Lots of independent companies would do that. And for WWE, they want people to, if it's on their television show, or whether it's quickly clicking through their channels and they see an advert for WWE, they want people to recognise, oh, that person's holding a WWE championship belt. That's why they're the same. They're why just different colourings for the Raw and SmackDown brands. They want people to instantly go, yes, that's the WWE championship. But obviously, having the WWE logos on them helps tremendously. But for belts like, say, the Tag Team Championship belts, it's not instantly obvious it's a WWE Championship, but they want people to recognise that is a once that design, obviously it's been a few years now since that design was brought in, but they want people to recognise that is a championship belt from WWE. one of the, of course, the most important changes in NXT right now is talent-wise. A lot of new or returning talent are being featured on the programming. Cassius Ohno and Drew McIntyre has returned. New talents like Aleister Black, Ruby Riott, Kimberly Franklin, I think, was on NXT this. I think she used to be known as Kimberly. She made her debut on NXT this week. So one of the great things about NXT right now is that they're showcasing new talent, and it kind of goes back to the opening video that's shown this week. From this very week, NXT had a new opening video, and it makes sense. It makes complete sense, because you want an opening video to show the talent that you have on the show. All years of NXT, we've seen the Seth Rollins, the Dean Ambrose, the Roman Reigns, the Fandangos, the Tyler Breezes, lots of different guys have gone through, and men and women, a lot of talent have gone through NXT. Though you obviously want the opening video to genuinely reflect the talent that, not all of them may appear that week, but you want the video to reflect who you're going to see, or who you might see on the NXT television show that week, or even on a house show if you're going to it, a live event if you're going to it, things like access to that. You want it to reflect the talent roster of NXT, and I'm that is going to change occasionally. You'll really get a sense of this new generation of NXT stars if you watch NXT this week. Watch the opening video. You really do get a sense that NXT is changing. Like I said, it's post WrestleMania. There've been post WrestleMania call-ups for some of the talent, so that's what's happening. And NXT is introducing some new talent. Just for taking an example, Drew McIntyre. Drew put out a statement on ESPN, and he also said in an interview after he defeated Oney Lorcan on his return to NXT, his debut in NXT, return to WWE this week on the program, that he could have gone anywhere, he could have signed with anyone. And from what I've heard, that is absolutely true, and it wouldn't surprise me at all that Drew could have gone anywhere, because Drew has built up a hell of a reputation. Although quite a few people have not actually followed Drew since he left WWE, he was kind of down in the doldrums, 3MB with Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal, and he was a little bit down. We all know his reasons for leaving, but he really built a really steady reputation over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe he could have signed anywhere. And we know that Impact Wrestling was very interested in re-signing him. I think he could have very easily gone to the likes of New Japan Pro Wrestling, who are always on the hunt for great foreign talent to sign and feature on their programming. He literally could have gone anywhere, and that's one of the great things that really, in my opinion, refreshes the appeal of WWE these days. NXT refreshes the appeal for wrestlers, because lots of the guys could very easily stay on the independent scene, made a career out of it. Guys like Drew McIntyre, he could have spent the rest of his career appearing here in Scotland for the likes of ICW, SWE, Discovery Wrestling. If he, I don't think he quite got into one of their shows, but I don't think. But there is companies around the UK, around Scotland, the UK, Europe, and the world, because he travelled the world multiple times over. He could have spent the next few years doing that and then retired. But I think one of the great things about NXT, it's got that new appeal for WWE. I mean, WWE's always had that appeal because it's the top in sports entertainment, professional wrestling. It's the top place to go. It's where the opportunity is there to make a lot of money. It's where you can really show off your skills. It's where you can become famous. There's so many so many appeals for for WWE, for wrestlers, but NXT is renewing that appeal for WWE. It's why the likes of Drew McIntyre decided to sign for NXT. It's why the likes of Killian Dane, who I still think it's tremendous, even watching, just seeing Nikki Cross of Sanity appear on the NXT television programme last night, still thrilled me to think that Nikki Cross and Killian Dane, two people that I saw just 10 minutes up the road from me, multiple times, on many occasions here in Dundee, I saw them wrestle, got to kind of be friendly with them, especially Killian Dane appearing on WrestleMania. He could have easily made a career out of the independent scene. He could have stayed in Scotland training the upcoming generations of wrestlers, having a hand in this revolution that he already had a hand in, of the revolution of British wrestling. Maybe he appeared on this new world of sport wrestling that's being revived for at least 10 episodes. He could have had a hand on all of that and stayed within the UK, but there is still, for whatever reason, and I don't know what the reasons exactly are, but for whatever reasons, he decided, and him and Nikki decided, yeah, we want to chase the WWE dream. We want to go to the United States. We want to go to Orlando. We want to start with WWE. They could easily, like I said, made a career out of what they were doing, but they decided to go, and it really renews that appeal. And guys like Aleister Black, Ruby Riott, they're all starting to appear in WWE. Talking of the women as well, one thing that I would want to mention on this video very quickly, we do know that WWE is going to have the 32 women tournament upcoming some point this summer. We don't know when. Some people were suggesting, talking about the NXT Women's Championship being involved in that tournament. I don't think it should be. I hope it's not. Some people suggest, even I think that maybe Asuka will maybe keep the title and then vacate the title, the championship, before entering the women's tournament. I don't think any of the NXT signed talent should be in the tournament. I think this is a great opportunity. I know there's a lot of stuff still about the women's revolution, but I think it's a great opportunity for international women with no WWE, perhaps a little bit of WWE experience depending on who they are, but this is a great opportunity for WWE to recruit female wrestlers, I kind of hate using that term female wrestlers because they are just wrestlers, but it's a women's tournament, so it's a great opportunity for WWE and the female talent around the world to get WWE's notice. Even if they are not signed, if they don't go too far in the tournament, at least get them on WWE's radar, so it provides that opportunity to them to do great things in the future, even if WWE or themselves feel they're not quite ready, but they have to go for this opportunity. And it all, of course, depends entirely on who's contractually free to do that. I would love to see Scotland's own Viper be involved in that, but with the World of Sport, I'm not sure she's involved in that, so I'm not sure whether she would actually be allowed or able to compete in that. I'd love to see her represent Scotland in this, but I'm looking forward to that tournament. Also, I'll talk about that more as that unfolds and when we know the full lineup of the 32 women. The 32 women that will be involved in that tournament, hopefully soon. I don't know. They said during the summer, maybe June, July, August. I don't know. We're already getting mid-May. Mid-April already. So maybe mid-May. Maybe we'll get to know more information about that tournament. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully they'll sign more talent, because I think that's what perhaps that's what the NXT Women's division needs. I mean, they've already got people like Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, already kind of in the wings, but they need more talent. They already have the Nikki Crosses, the Ruby Riotts, Ember Moon and Asuka, but it's a little bit thin on the ground for the women in NXT right now. I would like to finish off just by saying one thing. I don't want to go too much into things today, but I do want to say one thing about NXT to finish off. I think some people forget the whole entire purpose of NXT. The purpose for NXT, the reason why NXT exists as it does today, is because it's a developmental brand for WWE. It's a preparation area situation for talent. The whole thing about NXT is that the talent that are signed to NXT, wherever they come from, whether they are a top talent on other companies like Impact Wrestling, talk about Bobby Roode, whether they're maybe top independent talent like Drew McIntyre's been, and Cassius Ohno has been, whether wherever they come from, or even whether they start their career at the Performance Centre, whether that's the first training or that they get. NXT is the preparation ground for talent for WWE. NXT is the place where the talent learns, where the talent becomes known. I said it years ago I said it years ago, okay, when it comes to the wrestling video games, about the NXT talent should be included in that. I kind of got balked at because some people say, well, nobody knows the NXT talent. Nobody will know who they are. Well, now, through the likes of the WWE Network, we know who they are. We know who's doing what in NXT, and obviously there's lots more talent still at the Performance Centre that we've not seen on television, and I think we'll see a lot of them come through in the next few months. I believe, including actually Leo Rush and Ricochet, will be a part of WWE by the end of 2017. Some form of fashion, whether it's NXT, the main roster, the 205 Live, whatever. I believe those two gentlemen will be a part of NXT or WWE in some form or fashion by the end of 2017. It's just being delayed by Lucha Underground for Ricochet. I think he's chomping at the bit to get to WWE. I get that impression from him on social media. I think Ricochet really wants to go to WWE very soon, so I think we'll see that soon. I'm looking forward to that. But what NXT is a preparation area. It's to get the talent ready for the main roster, and that's what NXT is. That's what NXT should remain to be. That's what always should be. NXT is the place. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, there's lots of great matches, and I'm not denigrating NXT in any way because I watch NXT. It's a great product. I enjoy the takeovers. I enjoy watching a lot of the talent develop. But NXT is the place where WWE prepares talent for the main roster. And I think that I agree with MSL, Court Bauer, Jim Cornette, and many others who have said recently, around about the WrestleMania week, that in a couple of years WWE's talent roster is going to be amazing when it comes to in-ring talent. It's going to be amazing. The main roster is going to have some absolutely fantastic wrestlers over the next couple of years. But what NXT is the preparation area. It's the developmental place for WWE's talent. And that's what it should be. So when they're ready, WWE, yeah, some people are not happy about it. Some people have never been happy about it. When likes of Sami Zayn, Tyler Breeze, Samoa Joe, especially recently Shinsuke Nakamura, all go up to Raw or SmackDown. A lot of people vocalise that they're not happy about it, but they should be happy about it. This is these, like I said about the appeal of WWE being being kind of reignited by NXT. That's how those guys are developing. Those guys' career are developing. They're going on to the main roster. Their careers are ongoing. They're not standing still. They've got new, fresh challenges, new, fresh environment for them to go into. That is what NXT is for. And NXT is ever evolving. NXT will always have fresh faces, talent going up to Raw and SmackDown or 205 Live or wherever, but leaving NXT, new talent will come through as other talents are promoted or leave, whatever. NXT is ever evolving, and I think that is a wonderful thing. NXT is ever evolving, and that is exactly the way it should be. If NXT stops evolving, and I know some people, that's the whole point of doing this video, some people have been very vocal on Twitter that they don't like this. Obviously, if you look at NXT, I said at the start, if you look at NXT, you can see it's changing. You can see this new generation of talent coming through. You know, the Oney Larkins, the Dylan Wilde, who I was really impressed by on this week's NXT. Kind of reminds me of the Incredible Hulk, very angry, but then very remorseful backstage in that vignette. I think it's on WWE.com or WWE's YouTube channel, apologising to his tag team partner who he beat up. And apparently he's destined for big things. Apparently quite a few people think very highly of Dylan Miley. Dylan Miley, I think his name is Dylan Miley. Apparently quite a few people think big things of him, and we know WWE likes the monster guys, but NXT is ever evolving, and that is exactly the way it should be. If that NXT stops evolving, then it will die, and I'm very hopeful. I don't think it will, but NXT is ever evolving. That is the way it needs to be.